So the Kilcher homestead has gotten to mean something more than just a piece of land. And now with the reality show, millions of people around the world have come to see that homestead as kind of a symbol of passing the old ways down to the next generations.
For over a decade, Alaska. The Last Frontier invited viewers into the rugged, off-grid life of the Kilcher family, where survival meant hard work and deep ties to the land. But life beyond the cameras has taken them in new directions. Some staying close to the homestead, others exploring music, farming, and modern storytelling. How have these stars adapted to life off-screen? Which Kilchers are still keeping the Last Frontier spirit alive in their own unique ways? Join us as we explore the journeys of the show's stars, where they are now and what they're doing. The Last Frontier. You've probably heard of the Kilchers from Alaska. The Last Frontier, right? Evan and Eve Kilcher are part of that famous Alaskan family. And if you've ever watched the show, you know they've been living off the grid near Homer, Alaska for years. After the show wrapped in 2022, they didn't just fade into the woods. Instead, they took their homestead life online, creating a whole digital hub through social media, YouTube, newsletters, and their own website. Ivan is a third-generation Alaskan homesteader, which basically means he grew up doing all the frontier stuff you'd imagine. Building cabins, welding, hunting, foraging, and generally figuring out how to live off the land. Eve grew up in a similar environment and has always loved gardening, cooking, and just working with natural, sustainable ways of living. Together, they're raising their kids, Findlay and Sparrow Rose, right on the family homestead, keeping the Kilcher traditions alive while also adapting them for modern life. Seasonal work, sustainable living, and hands-on skills are part of their daily routine, and they share that openly online. Instead of going back to TV after Alaska, The Last Frontier, they decided to connect with people directly. They post all kinds of content about homestead life. They also show the full circle of food: planting, harvesting, preserving, and cooking. Eve's kitchen is often front and center, showing simple, practical recipes that anyone could try, even if you're not in the middle of Alaska. And of course, hunting, fishing, and foraging adventures are part of the mix, too. Their online presence spans YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and newsletters. You can follow along with video diaries, project updates, seasonal tips, and little how-to posts. They also co-authored a cookbook, Homestead Kitchen, Stories and Recipes from Our Hearth to Yours, which combines 85 original recipes with advice on gardening, food preservation, and living sustainably. What's cool about Ivan and Eve is that it's not just about putting on a show. They're genuinely trying to educate and inspire. Whether you have acres of land or just a small urban garden, their content encourages you to try living more self-sufficiently and to appreciate the connection to nature and family. In a way, they've kept the Kilcher legacy alive for longtime fans, while also introducing it to a whole new audience. In the same spirit of honoring family tradition while carving out their own niche, another Kilcher, Jane, has been quietly making her mark. But how has she managed to stay true to her roots while finding her own path beyond the Last Frontier? Finding her own path beyond the Last Frontier. Airing from 2011 to 2022, the show introduced viewers to Jane as a strong, capable presence, someone deeply connected to nature and unafraid of hard work. Over the years, she grew into one of the show's most admired figures, valued not for spectacle, but for authenticity. When the series came to an end, Jane didn't vanish from public life. Instead, she made a conscious decision to step away from the structure of reality television and reshape her life on her own terms. Since leaving the show, she has focused on personal projects and independence, choosing a more intentional way of engaging with the world and with fans. One of the most significant changes in Jane's life came after her divorce from Atz Lee Kilcher in 2023, ending a marriage that lasted more than 17 years. Following the separation, Jane retained full ownership of her property on Kilcher Road. She transformed part of that property into a short-term rental business known as the Last Frontier Chalet, turning a personal chapter into a new opportunity. The chalet itself shows the Alaskan character people associate with the Kilchers. It's a cozy, 3-story retreat with rustic wood interiors, sweeping glacial views, and a sense of quiet isolation that appeals to visitors seeking a true Alaska experience. Jane has offered the property both as a high-end rental through platforms like Airbnb and VRBO, and as a potential sale, with listings placing its value around $1.4 million. Guests staying there are able to experience life close to the iconic Kilcher homestead while enjoying privacy and comfort. Alongside her business ventures, Jane has remained active online, particularly on Facebook and Instagram. She regularly shares glimpses of daily life in Homer, seasonal changes, travel moments, and thoughtful reflections. Her posts tend to be open and personal, especially when discussing growth and change. In early 2025, she shared messages about reclaiming her voice and embracing life again after a period of healing, striking a chord with many followers who admired her honesty. Though her life is quieter without the constant presence of cameras, Jane Kilcher hasn't retreated from connection. Instead, she has chosen a more controlled, meaningful form of visibility, one that balances privacy with authenticity. This private approach seems to resonate with other Kilchers who have stepped back from the spotlight. Let's unveil the behind-the-scenes life of another member that fans absolutely adored. Atz Lee Kilcher, Off-Grid, Life Beyond Reality Television. Atz Lee Kilcher, the son of Alaska. The Last Frontier Patriarch Atz Kilcher and the brother of singer Jewel has gradually stepped away from the world of mainstream reality television and leaned fully into a quieter, more independent life in remote Alaska. For more than a decade, viewers watched him on the Discovery Channel series as part of the Kilcher family's rugged subsistence lifestyle near Homer, Alaska. When the show ended in 2022, however, Atz Lee chose not to chase another television spotlight. Instead, he doubled down on the kind of life that first defined him, one rooted in self-reliance and survival on his own terms. After years living and working on the main Kilcher homestead, Atz Lee moved even farther off the grid. His current lifestyle centers on hunting, foraging, and building, rather than maintaining large-scale livestock operations like some of his relatives. He has spoken openly about wanting to strip life back to its essentials, relying on his own labor and instincts rather than modern conveniences. Much of his food comes from the land itself, and many of the structures he uses are built or repaired by his own hands. For Atz Lee, this approach represents a return to core survival values. Fans who once followed him through television cameras now keep up with his life primarily through his YouTube channel, Kilcher's Last Frontier, which launched in March 2025. The channel offers an unfiltered look at his daily reality, free from production crews or scripted drama. By late 2025, the channel had grown to more than 11,000 subscribers, with dozens of videos and hundreds of thousands of views. That growth reflects a strong appetite for content that feels unscripted, something Atz Lee intentionally delivers. The videos focus on real work in real conditions. Viewers see him constructing log cabins from scratch, hauling materials across difficult terrain, and collaborating with family members like cousin Ivan Kilcher on demanding projects. Some episodes show him repairing bridges just to access his property, while others capture the slow, methodical process of building shelter in snow and isolation. These aren't polished how-to videos. They're documentation of hard labor, mistakes, problem-solving, and perseverance. His humor and laid-back attitude shine through, even when conditions are harsh. Beyond YouTube, Atz Lee stays connected to his audience through platforms like Instagram and Twitter, where he shares candid updates about daily life in Alaska. His posts often touch on hunting seasons, extreme weather, and the realities of living far from towns or services. Rather than presenting an idealized version of homesteading, he's upfront about the challenges, from physical exhaustion to the mental toll of isolation. In one post from May 2025, he summed up his approach by saying his channel offers the same kind of adventure fans loved on television, but without crazy producers making it extreme all the time. That same spirit of resilience and hands-on determination runs through the Kilcher family, most visibly in Otto Kilcher, who continues to tackle the challenges of homestead life with remarkable energy and skill. But how does Otto keep pushing forward, even in his 70s, when most would slow down? Keeping the last frontier alive, one project at a time. Otto Kilcher has never really slowed down. Even in his 70s, he remains deeply involved in daily life on the Kilcher homestead near Homer, Alaska, tackling mechanical fixes, construction projects, and the countless practical problems that come with living off the grid. Whether it's repairing heavy equipment, maintaining buildings, or improvising solutions with whatever tools are on hand, Otto still works with the same hands-on determination that made him a standout on Alaska, the last frontier. His resilience was especially evident after a serious cow trampling incident in 2021, which could have sidelined him permanently. Instead, he recovered and returned to work, refusing to let age or injury define his limits. In recent years, Otto has found a new way to share his skills and experience with the world. He launched his own YouTube channel, offering viewers a direct look at life on the homestead without the polish or structure of reality television. His videos cover everything from engine repairs and equipment, troubleshooting, to seasonal chores like sealing chimneys, hauling supplies, and caring for livestock. By late 2025, the channel had attracted tens of thousands of subscribers, drawn to Otto's straightforward teaching style and practical ingenuity. What sets Otto's content apart is its authenticity. He doesn't rush or exaggerate. Instead, he explains how things work, why problems happen, and how to fix them with patience and creativity. In one notable video from August 2025, he reflected on how Alaska, the last frontier, came to be, and why he prefers unscripted, self-directed storytelling now. For Otto, sharing knowledge matters more than creating drama, and his channel reflects that philosophy. He also appears alongside family members in local projects and collaborative media, including the Discovering the Last Frontier podcast, where he and his wife Charlotte talk about life in Kachemak Bay and the rhythms of homestead living. Charlotte Kilcher, meanwhile, has carved out her own distinct role on the homestead. While Otto focuses on mechanics and infrastructure, Charlotte has built a thriving connection to the land through gardening and floriculture. She is a passionate peony farmer and an active member of the Alaska Beauty Peony Co-op. What began around 2010 as a small planting of roughly 450 peony plants has grown into a seasonal enterprise with about 200 mature plants across multiple varieties. Each summer, her flowers are harvested and shipped to buyers throughout the lower 48 states, bringing a piece of Alaska's short but vibrant growing season to customers far away. Charlotte's peonies are more than a business. They're woven into the local community. Her blooms have appeared in Homer's peony celebrations and were even used in symbolic tributes during the COVID-19 pandemic, giving them emotional as well as economic significance. While she doesn't run a separate YouTube channel, Charlotte frequently appears in Otto's videos, especially during gardening segments, planting seasons, and harvest routines. She also maintains an active presence on Instagram, where she shares updates, photos, and behind-the-scenes glimpses of homestead life that resonate with followers. Together, Otto and Charlotte continue to embody the Kilcher spirit after Alaska, the last frontier. Through his mechanical know-how and her dedication to sustainable agriculture, they've transitioned from television to modern storytelling on their own terms. Their work keeps the legacy alive not through scripted episodes, but through real skills, real seasons, and a life still shaped by Alaska's rugged demands. But while the next generation carries the torch, what role does the family's patriarch, Atz Kilcher, still play in guiding the Kilcher legacy today? The Patriarch of the Kilcher family. As the Patriarch of the Kilcher family, Atz Kilcher continues to be a central figure both on the homestead near Homer, Alaska, and within the broader homesteading community. Even after the show ended in 2022, he hasn't slowed down with age. Instead, he remains deeply involved in family life, land stewardship, creative pursuits, and community outreach, living the values of self-reliance, resilience, and hands-on work that have defined the Kilcher legacy for generations. Life on the homestead keeps him busy. Atz participates in seasonal chores, tending to cattle, harvesting crops, and maintaining the property's infrastructure. Far from stepping back, he embraces the hard work required to sustain a subsistence lifestyle in Alaska's rugged terrain. His presence on the land isn't just about tradition, it's a daily embodiment of the independence and perseverance that the family has lived by for decades. Music has long been a cornerstone of Atz's life. A singer-songwriter rooted in folk and traditional Alaskan music, he frequently performs at local gatherings and events, sharing stories and songs that connect the community to the culture of the homestead. His influence is clear in his daughter Jewel's career. She grew up singing and yodeling alongside him, carrying forward the family's musical heritage while forging her own path in the wider world. In addition to music, Atz has embraced writing and reflection. He contributes a weekly column called Dispatches from Atz for Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing, a program that supports veterans through outdoor experiences, music, and storytelling. Drawing on his own experience as a Vietnam War veteran, Atz uses these essays to share insights about nature and healing, creating spaces for veterans to reconnect with themselves and the outdoors. He also participates in retreats and nature-based programs, often combining music and storytelling to help others find peace and perspective. Although the cameras have gone, Atz maintains a connection with fans through social media, posting about life on the homestead, family events, music, and personal reflections. He also remains committed to the long-term preservation of the Kilcher property, with the Kilcher Family Trust and Conservation Easement ensuring hundreds of acres will stay intact for future generations. Through his work on the land, his music, his writing, and his outreach, Atz Kilcher continues to live the principles that have always guided him: deep connection to the land, care for family and community, and the power of storytelling to inspire and sustain those around him. Even off-screen, he remains a steadfast emblem of Alaskan homesteading and the Kilcher way of life. But how is the next generation carrying on that legacy in their own unique ways? Musician, firefighter, and Alaskan homesteader. Nikos Kilcher is the youngest son of Atz Kilcher and a member of the extended Kilcher family from Homer, Alaska, whose off-grid homesteading life was chronicled on the Discovery Channel's Alaska, the Last Frontier. While he appeared on the show occasionally, Nikos was never as front and center as some of his siblings. Even so, he's carved out a life that balances creativity, service, and a deep connection to the Alaskan wilderness. Nikos grew up in a household that emphasized music, hands-on skills, and self-reliance. His father, Atz, encouraged creativity and a love of the outdoors, and those lessons stuck. From an early age, Nikos was surrounded by folk music, wilderness training, and the family's enduring focus on living close to the land. These early influences would go on to shape both his artistic and professional pursuits. Music has been a central part of Nikos's life. As a singer-songwriter with a folk rock acoustic style, he has released original work, including the album Pilgrim and several singles. His songs often draw on his experiences in Alaska, exploring themes like life, love, travel, and the natural world. While he hasn't reached the commercial heights of his half-sister Jewel, Nikos has built a loyal following in Homer's local music scene, performing in venues across the region and connecting with audiences who appreciate his authenticity and storytelling through song. Alongside music, Nikos has pursued another demanding passion: wildland firefighting. Beginning in early adulthood, he took on summer firefighting jobs across Alaska's backcountry, eventually returning full-time to work with Helitack Crews, specialized wildfire teams that operate from helicopters. In 2025, he was not only battling fires, but also training local villagers to join fire crews, combining his commitment to the land with service to the community. On top of music and firefighting, Nikos has studied elementary education, showing an interest in teaching and working with children. He lives in Homer with his wife, Kate, and their children, often sharing glimpses of family life, his multiple passions, and reflections on social media. Unlike some Kilchers who leaned heavily on television exposure, Nikos has built a more independent and multifaceted life, blending creativity, outdoor work, and family. Nikos Kilcher is best understood not just as a reality TV personality, but as a musician, wildland firefighter, student, and devoted family man. His life reflects the Kilcher legacy of resilience and adaptability while carving out a unique path that combines artistic expression, service, and the rugged beauty of Alaska's wilderness. What led to the end of the show? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.